Have you ever wondered what secrets might be hiding in your own backyard? For one young boy named Leo, his backyard wasn't just a patch of grass. It was an entire world waiting to be discovered. This is the story of Leo and the incredible, unexpected zoo he created right behind his house. Leo was a quiet boy, more comfortable with books than with big crowds. While other kids played soccer or video games, Leo's favorite pastime was exploring the small patch of wilderness that was his backyard. It wasn't huge, just a lawn, a few old trees, and a rickety wooden fence, but to Leo it was a vast, uncharted territory. His parents, always busy, were happy he had a safe place to play. They had no idea their son was about to become the zookeeper of the most unusual zoo in the world. It all started with a robin. One spring morning, after a blustery storm, Leo found a baby robin that had fallen from its nest. Its tiny feathers were ruffled and it chirped weakly. Leo's heart ached for the little creature. Carefully, he scooped it up, made a soft nest out of an old shoebox and cotton balls, and named him Pip. He spent hours researching what baby robins eat, mashing up worms and berries, and feeding Pip with a tiny dropper. Day by day, Pip grew stronger. Soon, he was hopping around the shoebox and fluttering his wings. The day Pip finally flew up to a branch on the old oak tree, chirping loudly, Leo felt a mix of pride and sadness. Pip was free, but Leo's backyard suddenly felt a little empty. But Pip didn't forget his rescuer. He would visit Leo every day, landing on his shoulder and singing a cheerful song. And it seemed Pip had spread the word. Soon, other animals started appearing. A family of squirrels, emboldened by Pip's presence, began scampering down from the trees to take nuts directly from Leo's hand. He named the daring leader Squeaky. Then came a grumpy-looking toad who took up residence under the porch steps. Leo called him Winston and built him a little pond out of an old basin, complete with lily pads made from large leaves. Leo's backyard zoo was growing. He wasn't capturing these animals. He was earning their trust. He learned their habits, their favorite foods, and their unique personalities. He built little shelters for them, a tiny log cabin for Squeaky's nut stash, a shady lean-to for a shy rabbit he named Clover. The yard became a sanctuary, a safe haven where different species coexisted peacefully under the gentle watch of their human friend. Leo documented everything in a notebook he called the Backyard Zoo Field Guide, complete with detailed drawings and observations. One day, Leo noticed something new. A flash of brilliant orange and black fluttering near the fence. It was a monarch butterfly, but its wing was torn. Leo knew from his books that a torn wing was a serious problem for a butterfly. He carefully caught it in a jar and brought it inside. With the steady hands of a surgeon and a little bit of non-toxic glue, he repaired the delicate wing with a tiny piece of paper. He named the butterfly Marigold. After a day of rest, he released her. She circled his head once, as if to say thank you, before flying off toward the horizon. Word of the boy who spoke the language of animals, or at least understood it, seemed to travel in mysterious ways. A one-eyed cat that all the neighborhood kids were afraid of started sunbathing in Leo's yard, letting him stroke its matted fur. Leo named him Captain. A wise old owl began hooting from the highest branch of the oak tree at dusk, and Leo would hoot back, a nightly conversation between boy and bird. He called the owl Professor Hoot. His zoo had no cages, only open invitations. The price of admission was simply kindness. As summer bloomed, Leo's backyard was teeming with life. It was a symphony of chirps, rustles, and croaks. But Leo kept his zoo a secret. He was afraid others wouldn't understand. They might try to catch the animals or scare them away. It was his own private, magical world. The secret, however, was about to come out. A new family moved in next door, with a girl his age named Maya. Maya was loud, energetic, and always curious. One afternoon, she peered over the fence. "What are you doing?" she asked, watching Leo carefully arrange a line of blueberries for Winston the toad. Leo froze. He mumbled something about gardening, but Maya's eyes were sharp. She saw Pip on his shoulder, Squeaky chattering from a nearby branch, and Clover nibbling on a leaf. "Whoa," she whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "Is that a zoo?" Leo expected her to laugh, to call him weird. Instead, she asked, "Can I help?" Hesitantly, Leo nodded. He introduced her to each resident, telling her their names and stories. Maya wasn't just impressed, she was fascinated. She didn't try to grab or chase the animals. She watched, listened, and learned. She helped Leo build a butter pond for Winston and discovered that Squeaky's family loved sunflower seeds. The secret zoo for one became a shared sanctuary for two. Together, they expanded their conservation efforts. They planted a butterfly garden to attract more monarchs like Marigold. They built birdhouses and a bee hotel. The backyard became even more vibrant. Their greatest challenge came when they found a young fox with its leg caught in some old garden netting. It was scared and defensive. Working together, Leo calming the fox with his quiet voice, while Maya carefully cut the netting, they managed to free it. The fox, which they named Flicker, went away but returned a few days later, leaving a feather at the edge of the yard, a thank you gift. One evening, Leo's parents came out to call him for dinner. They stopped in their tracks, speechless. The yard was alive. Birds of all kinds were gathered, squirrels were feasting, rabbits hopped freely, and even Captain, the one-eyed cat, was peacefully napping near Winston's pond. They saw Leo and Maya sitting quietly in the middle of it all, a picture of perfect harmony. "Leo," his dad said, his voice full of awe, "what is all this?" Leo, with Maya by his side, finally shared his secret. He explained how it all started with Pip and how every animal had a name and a story. He showed them his field guide. His parents weren't angry. They were amazed. They saw a son who wasn't just quiet, but patient and compassionate. They saw the magic he had created through pure empathy. From that day on, the whole family became involved. His dad helped him build a more permanent, sturdy structure for the owl, and his mom helped him plant a garden full of native plants to support the local wildlife. The backyard zoo was no longer a secret. It became a neighborhood legend. Kids would come to the fence not to tease, but to watch in silent wonder. Leo and Maya would teach them about the animals, about the importance of being kind and gentle to the creatures we share our world with. The boy who was once too shy to speak had found his voice not in talking to people, but in caring for animals. And in doing so, he brought his whole community together. Lesh story reminds us that you don't need a grand plan or a lot of money to make a difference. Magic isn't just in fantasy books, it's in a simple act of kindness. It's in the patience to earn an animal's trust and the compassion to care for the vulnerable. So next time you look out into your own backyard, look a little closer. You never know what wonders are waiting for you or what incredible friendships you might form. The greatest adventures can start with the smallest of creatures. Thanks for watching our story today. If you were inspired by Leo's backyard zoo, hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Let us know in the comments what animals you've seen in your own backyard. See you next time.